and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month of the Fire Cup, the Fire Cup number 4, Group A. I'm, of course, your ZvT. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to the Fire Cup. Again, this is a monthly tournament. Every single month we have the Fire Cup. This is a CIS-focused tournament for the CIS region, I do mean, and we're now jumping into our first match of the group. As a reminder, exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is stacked, the group is stacked, and we are covering all of Group A's matches today. Group B is tomorrow, and the playoffs are the day after. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Belarus. Representing himself, currently teamless, it is Nikich. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran from the land of Kazakhstan, representing CSO Esports. It is Replicant. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Get your gambler going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as... Again, this match could go either way. For the most part, I do favor Nikich coming into this, but Replicant did surprise us quite a bit in last month's Fire Cup. He did very, very well, and again, he definitely left his mark, at least on myself. Definitely have high expectations for him coming forward, and we'll see how he does against Nikich. We're here for it. We're ready to go. Let's go. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool standard opener here out of Nikich. Likewise, Replicant going for a Rax expand as well. When it comes to the group itself, when it comes to the formats, when it comes to the upcoming matches, we'll be going over that momentarily, be going over that after this series does conclude. So we're going to be focusing on wrapping up our first best of 3, then we'll be diving into the matchups themselves and what is coming up next on the stream. For now, though, we're settling in. For now, we are settling in. Standard openers all around, nothing too crazy. Loading into Ultra Love. Ultra Love, of course, relatively one of the smaller maps in the map pool, but quite defendable as well. Quite defendable here on your 3 and 4 base setup. So we'll see if we can keep up with each other and embrace a longer game state. Let's go. Let us go. Also, hello everyone in the chat. Share my papi, share my. I see Hatsu in the chat. I see I Stan as well. Late Chrononauts, good to see you all. Psychons, Kudo as well. Good to see you. As far as Reaper does get across the map. Does get across. Will be delaying the third base successfully, so does delay, does force the gas geyser. Oh, coming back down and barely not delaying any further. That was a clutch move, very closely, very, very close actually, but alas, the third base gets up and running, and Nikich can now stabilize on 3 bases. The Reaper comes back and he wants a tumor. Oh, doesn't get it. Does not get the tumor in the end. Nikich, he does defend, he does hold, and back at home, Replicant going for a third CC before Starboard. Economic opener here by Replicant. Again, Replicant was a player that I wasn't really thinking too much of coming into last month's Fire Cup, but he did surprisingly well in the group stage. Surprisingly well, despite being in a group filled with stacked, insane players in the European region, did insanely well, and we'll see if he can replicate that success here in December. See what I did there? I'm turning into I stand back. Este I stand. I'm blaming him already. We're now just joining up. We're just going to be joining up here back at home. Likewise, third CC before Starport into what looks to be an add-on swap. We have the tech level away. Yep, there's the add-on swap on the horizon. Going into Cloak Banshees and Hellions. I mean, I say Cloak Banshee. We'll see if Cloak is researched. We could skip Cloak and try to preserve our resources and go into faster stim and just focus on spinning gases elsewhere instead. We'll see which upgrade is going to be prioritized. For the time being, though, we're going to be settling in. And so far, Banshee, Hellion. Banshee Hellion on the way. The goal here is to just apply pressure, to gain map control, to maybe pick off a couple of workers here and there, but more importantly, just keep control of the creep and keep control of the map in favor of the Terran. So we'll see if he can. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have Nikich just saturating his bases, joining up. It's going to be on Nikich to keep up with the crease spread, to maintain his queens, and to keep up with the harassment of the Hellion Banshee. Speaking of, we have confirmation, Cloak. Cloak is indeed being researched here from the side of Replicant, so he's going to be investing a little bit harder, a little bit more deeper here into these Banshees, which means they need to get more done. There's a lot of pressure here on these Banshees to get across the map. They're going to be rotating over, moving out across the map. Overlord Scout comes in, and Nikich, he confirms. He gets eyes on the 111 on the third CC, and more importantly, on the researching tech lab, so he is fully aware of Cloak. Is fully aware. back at home. Spore should soon be on the way. There we go. We have Spore in the main, Spore in the natural, Spore in the third base, Spore in every single mineral line, and the Queens are preparing as well. So far, so good. Likewise, Hellions, they dive in towards the third base. Clutch Evo Chamber there at Nikich. Very nicely done. Does wall up in time. The Queens, they maintain themselves. The Banshees are still on the way. Looks like we're waiting for Cloak. Waiting for the Cloak and that second Banshee. Meanwhile, Hellions, they're rotating, trying to find another way in. And so, the puns begin. Ah, no. You're all animals. As the Hellions, they rotate once again over towards the third base. Once again, Nikich, he keeps up. He does a wall up. He does wall off. Very nicely done here so far. Nikich, he is keeping up with the aggression of Replicant. So far, so good. Behind this, we have our tech of choice. It was a lair first into a bathing nest into double Evo chamber, so it is going to be Ling Bane. The Evo chambers were delayed in favor of the lair, so very safe play here by Nikich with the lair. What does this mean? This means Overseers, it means Overseer Scouts. It also means faster Baneling speed as well. Oh my god, that I was not expecting. We'll get into that. As the Banshees, they do dive on top of the Queens. One Queen is going to be going down. This section does finish up, but there's only one Queen. Queen has to get the hell out of here. Clutch Transfuse does keep the Queen alive a little bit longer. Thankfully, there's a second Transfuse, and Nikich, he's holding on. He's keeping up. It does lose one Queen, but does keep that fourth base alive and does zone those Banshees away. Now, the reason why I was freaking the hell out is the Infestation Pit. Very fast Infestation Pit here by Nikich. This tells us a story here. To go for the pit instead of the Hydra Den, this looks like Ling Bane into Lurkers. It looks like Fast Hive into Adrenal into... Sorry. Did I say Lurkers? But I meant to say Ling Bane into Ultras, into Fast Hive, into Adrenal, into Ultra Tech to coincide with the melee upgrades. That's what this feels like. We'll see if Nikich does coincide with our feelings here and does embrace those Ultras. Meanwhile, Ling Bane crashes in. Nice around. Yeah, the Hellions are caught out. Oof. Get some brutal volleys towards the end, but for the most part, the Hellions are going to be cleaned up. Nicely done here by Nikich. At the same time, Banshees, they try to hit the main, but they are getting very, very low, and so far, Nikich is holding on, and there it is. Sub 7-minute hive. This was like a 6:56 hive timing. That was crazy. So insanely fast hive. This has to be for Ultras. Has to be. So it looks like an Ultra rush here by Nikich. Replicant moving out. He was harassing with his Hellion Banshee, but now it's time to move out with the main army. What do we have? Stim and 1-1. 1-1 upgrades finishing up in a couple of seconds just as Replicant hits the field. There's a tank behind this as well, and he has to take it slow initially. Does get an Overlord, does nice and creep. The goal here is to apply pressure and deny the fourth or the third. Ladies and gentlemen, for the no! Bailey's a crash on in. Marines go down. The tank goes down. Alas, Replicant a little bit too far on creep. He gets punished for that. And with that, Nikich, he's fine. He is perfectly fine. He gets the first tank. It shuts down the bio. We have reinforcements on the way, but Nikich, he's made it through the worst of it. And that means the hive is finishing. And that means that the Ultras are going to be on the way. We'll see if we feel vindicated for calling the Ultras back. But again, Fast Hive, it's got to be the Ultras back. Meanwhile, Rock's being knocked down. Creep is spreading. Double jump towards the top side. Tank is here to reinforce. And I mean, sure, we're going for a split push. We have a double jump on the bottom. We have double jump towards the left-hand side as well. But the size of the army here is quite small for Replicant. So I don't really see him achieving too much here. As this tank, it's going to go down. Oh, ooh, does unload in time, or does unsiege in time. Hot pick up there by Replicant. Likewise here on the right hand side, only one full medevac full of Marines, less than a full medevac really, only 7 Marines, so not as impactful. And there it is, the Ultras we did mention earlier. Again, fast infestation, it means fast hive, means fast Ultras. It all makes sense from the side of Nikich. And so far he's getting away with it. Deflects the double drop towards the left hand side. Likewise, Nikich also in position. He is keeping up. And again, as you can imagine, the win condition for Nikich, the goal here is survive until Ultras, and then snowball out of control, because the chances of your opponent having ghosts in time for this fast of Ultra production, it's not very high. Like, chances are there won't be many ghosts, if any ghosts at all. Now, when it comes to Replicant, we've been focusing a lot on what the Zerg player is up to when it comes to the Terran outside of trying to be aggressive with these drops. The Scout did confirm the Hive. Even though he didn't see the Ultra Cavern, seeing this hive should have been a tell. I don't know if Replicant really recognized what he saw, but seeing this hive is a massive tell that we need ghosts, or liberators, or both, more than anything right now. Because there's no other reason for our hive to have already been done. So I'm a little bit concerned that maybe Replicant is unaware about what's happening. Lings, they catch out the tanks. 2 tanks get picked up. Bailey's, they try to roll into the mineral line, but the planetary does hold its own. Nikich forced back. Likewise, Ling Bane towards the left. Takes down the bunker. Once again, going for the mineral line. Can he get in? Oh, it's getting choked up here, but Banelings, they do get into the mineral lines. SCVs are going down, but only 6. That was a big investment here by Nikich. I was a lot of Ling Bane for not much, for not much damage, for not much value. Only 5 SCVs, or 6, for 67 Lings and 17 Banelings. Double jump towards the left. Going for the Queen. Nikich, he does respond in time. But at the same time, Nikich, he did want to trade because he's clearing up supply for the Ultras. Ultras are on the way. Vipers have arrived as well. We're just massing up the Ultras, massing up the Vipers. Creep is being spread, and Nikich, he will soon pull the trigger with the Ultras. And as we mentioned, because Replicant didn't fully scout what was going on, because he was having a hard time piecing it all together, there's no Ghosts, there's no Liberators. There is SimCity that will help. Right now, I feel like Replicant, he's stuck at home. He's stuck at home. He has to focus on defending. Despite that, despite just fortifying himself and being hyper defensive, does he have the army that can really deal with Ultras? That I'm less certain of. Oh, as he's about to confirm, double jump on the right, he sees the rocks being knocked down. He doesn't quite spot the Ultras, but the Ultras are coming. Nice SimCity though. Do have a full wall here, or almost a full wall on the right hand side. Blinded clouds here on the Marines. Ultras, they break on through. Banelings from the south, from the top side. They don't quite connect. Nice kiting here. The Banelings go down. One of the Ultras going to be falling as well. And Nikich has to back off. One Ultra falls. Nice pick up. Replicant holds. Replicant does hold on. We have Ling Bane from the left-hand side. They knock down the depot wall. They bust into the mineral line, but they do not make it through. So far, good defense by Replicant. He defends his 4th. He defends his 3rd. He barely loses any SCVs. And Nikich plummets in supply. Nikich, he has minerals, he has no gas. He's trying to make Hydras, but he doesn't really have the upgrades for Hydras at the moment. And likewise, he's lacking gas, so he can't really afford them. He needs to remax here and now. 30 Lings on the way. But Nikich, calm down. Looks like we may have been missing some injects. Yeah, we're missing injects as well. So missing injects. But there's that remax on Lings. Nikich pushing forward once again. Meanwhile, Ghost production has begun for Replicant. He's so far still quite well fortified on 4 bases. Again, it's very important that he hasn't lost any bases, that he hasn't lost too many SCVs. So far, so good. He's going out of control. No. Aye. As Nikich is being active. It's being active here on the right-hand side. Threatening a dive. Spire is on the way. Nikich getting a little bit of everything here. He does catch the Banshees finally. Banshees go down. Nikich trying to gain some ground here, but alas, without any Viper support, pushing in is going to be difficult. Trying to knock down those rocks. Do we have any Vipers? No, it looks like the Vipers were sniped. Nikich trying to get into Lurker attack. Does knock down the rocks. Now, the reality here is that it looks like the win condition for Nikich is going to be instead deny the 5th. Deny the 5th base over and over again. Contain the Terran on 4 bases because it looks like, I mean, we talk about Ultra Level all the time, how defendable it is. You're not being broken on 4 bases. Straight up. You're just not being broken. It's not going to happen. And Nikich, he still has to focus on his economy. Still less than 80 workers. Needs to tech up. Still kind of an awkward game state for him. Personally, I would like extra gases for Nikich, but just because he has no gas bank. Would be nice. Replicant attempting to expand. So far, so good. Replicant, more like Replicant. Ah, I see what you did there. Ah, no. As we do push forward, we catch a couple of Marines. Nice pickup here and there here from Nikich. We do see him coming from behind. Gets 2 tanks. 2 tanks going down. Don't quite gain more ground than that, though. Just the 2 tanks. But again, it's all about denying the 5th. Just deny the 5th base over and over again. Deny the expansion or delay for as long as possible. I still would like extra gases for Nikich. He's got 6k minerals and 1k gas pipe. He take some more gas. Oh, they're not mining. Yeah, the gas is not mining, at least not towards the left-hand side. Likewise, he does have mining on the right. For the most part. Lurkers on the way. Immediately, Nikich is out of gas. Notice, Papi. Take the gases. We need them. He needs them. As he's trying to take up. Likewise into the Greater Spire, into eventually Brood Lords. Spire upgrades as well. 5th base is getting up. This cannot be allowed. Nikich is here to stop it. First Ultra goes down. Nice knife. Second Ultra falls. The Ultra's a melt. Replicant holds. Likewise, Lurkers, sorry, Night Storms are done for that Lurker tech to try to dive into the main. Alas, turrets are in position. Replicant, he takes the 5th. 5th base has been taken. Now, the 5 base setup here is still quite secure. The 6th base is more out in the open, more exposed. That is going to be more difficult for Replicant to take. Likewise, Nikich, he should prioritize resources and mining here towards the fringe bases. There we go, double gas now being taken here by Nikich, and we have the Nidus into the main. And Replicant, does he notice in time? He does respond. Thankfully, he does unload. Likewise on the right, Nikich pushing in. Trying to break the defenses. Lurkers a Juporo. Oh my god, Overseers go down. The Planetary is going to fall. But can he get on top of the tanks themselves? Looks like he cannot, but really this is a distraction. Oh, Cash is coming in. The snipes! Oh my god, the snipes are brutal! The Fungals are too late. The Fungals are too little too late. They have to get the hell out of here. Night Storms that get denied. He pulls back. More Lurkers have arrived. But again, a very messy fight. Nikich once again he plummets in supply. He has to rebuild. He's trying to. Night Storm's finishing up. Again, taking these bases doesn't mean anything if you don't mind from them. So I'm still a little bit concerned here for Nikich when it comes to these fringe bases and the lack of saturation. Because what this means is, I mean, eventually Replicant, he will break out, will take this base himself, and it's going to be a fresh mining base. It's applicable to both corners of the map. Oh my god, the spine shots! Oh! Spine shots go off. Decent Fungal. Gets one of the ghosts. Nuke to zone away. Does he notice? Does he notice the nuke? No! Okay, he does. Thank god. Will pull away, nuke will land. Taking down one of the creep tumors. Nikich calm down. Once again, Plummets and Supply. 12 Lurkers on the way. Spine just going off. Show us the Fungal. Oh, nice EMP. EMP goes off. Replicant controlling very well. We'll take down the final Lurker. But 12 more morph in. Dies with the Hydras. Pulse move. Nice last second split there by Nikich. Still attempting to pull this off. Ooh. Takes down 2 more ghosts. And nuke on the army. Does Nikich realize he wants the tank? He gets it. Back up. He doesn't notice. No, he doesn't. Okay. We're cutting it close, Pappy. We're cutting it very close. Nikich, calm down. He does rotate towards the left-hand side. Runs into a wall of tanks. Ooh, tank volleys go off. They do take down 2 of those Lurkers. Take down 2, almost 3. And 3 up. Barely not. Lings, they flood in. Mine shots go off. 3rd and 4th Lurker go down. And Nikich, he's not breaking through. He's not breaking through this. Now, I am going to be critical here of these remaining Hydras. Typically from here, Broodlord Infestor. We should be seeing a switch into Broodlord Infestor. That is what the Greater Spire is for, especially against this heavy of a tank count. If the tank count is too high, switch out of Lurkers. If the Thor count is too high, then you switch back into Lurkers. Typically, in late game ZvT, you want to switch back and forth, depending on the army composition of your opponent. Right now, because of the heavy tank count, I mean, we're throwing away a lot of gas. We're throwing away, I mean, I say a lot of gas, all the gas, really. Nikich has no gas bank. Once again being forced back. Nikich is trying to just brute force the issue. Double Nidus into the main. They finish! He did it! Double Nidus does finish up and he busts into the main. This is the win condition. Gets into the main base. He needs to get in! No! He leaves the army idle. The army is left idle and a handful of Lurkers make it in. Ooh. Suddenly this wasn't as worth it. How many Lurkers? 6. 6 Lurkers here for Nikich. It's good damage, but ideally, he wanted a little bit more here to reinforce. Didn't want to lose all those Hydras. He's disrupting some of the production. He does. Ideally, he'd like to reinforce this. More lurkers are going down. All the lurkers go down. And Replicant holds. At the same time, Lings, they come in towards the north, towards the center base. Bailings, they don't really get much done. Lurkers pushing on the left. A bit of a chaotic engagement here from Nikich, but the ghosts are out of position. Yeah, Replicant, he's out of position. He's busy in the main, which means this left-hand base may go down. Hydra's going for the planetary. Can he get it? Oh my god. A lot of SCVs do fall. Army's responding. Double Nidus, triple Nidus into the main. Lurkers doing what they can. Oh my god, the lurkers, they do barely escape. 18 SCV kills. Nidus storms do not finish. And Replicant holds. Replicant, he holds. He does maintain a supply lead, an army supply lead specifically. Kept most of his SCVs alive. This was some okay damage here by Nikich. He's still committing here with lurker tech. This is really risky. Basically what Nikich is doing, as we've been pointing out, he's trying to brute force the win. Instead of going for the more efficient game, which is like Broodlord Infestor, he is just trying to hammer down purely Ling Hydra Lurker. And we're making 4 tanks at a time. Like Replicant is just remaxing with more and more tanks, which is really what he needs. Just pure tank ghost. And Nikich is just ramming his face into a brick wall, and at times the wall is cracking, but at other times less so. So Nikich is still trying to find a way in. Still trying to. We'll find a couple of straight tanks, not bad. Yeah, 2 tanks going to be going down. Army's out of position. Replicant, he missed the rotation. And this is really what Nikich is hoping for. Just poke in, poke out, to fight wherever the ghosts are not. How many ghosts are that? Jesus. 24 ghosts? That's a lot of ghosts, papi. Jesus. Hey, people thought the ghost supply nerf was going to be enough. No, papi, no. Mate, that's not going to stop Replicant from making 24 ghosts, mate. Not going to stop him at all. Again, he can get away with a lower SCV count because of mules, but he does need another expansion. Nikich still hasn't really saturated bottom right. Has done a better job at top left, but this base is going to fall under control of Replicant. Nikich diving in. He wants a planetary, but he's going to lose so much of the process. Yeah, all the lurkers going down. Nikich can't remax. He's trying to set up. Meanwhile, Nuke did go. Oh, Nuke went off. Oh my god. Sorry, I assumed it was cancelled. My apologies. 18 drop. No, he doesn't notice. Oh my god. Thankfully, towards the end. Nuke goes off, but 18 workers went down. Ay, ay, ay. And Nikich he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam, running out of drones, running out of resources. Snipes going off. Oh, not the best trade out of Replicant, pushing too far forward. All the ghosts do fall. And here it is. This is the most important factor here, is that Replicant is taking a fresh mining base. And Nikich, he cannot let this happen. If Replicant takes this expansion, I mean, that may just be game. Tank bully's going up. And Nuke just is thrown away. Nikich, she does notice, does back up. Nuke takes down even one of the lurkers. Creepers receding. Base is being taken. We can see Replicant killing some of his own SCVs. Just making more room for more tanks, more liberators. And over time, Replicant is just going to outscale Nikich. It's happening. Now, there is a chance that maybe like a massive fungal goes off. If a massive fungal goes off and if the 24 ghosts get caught out, then sure. But outside of that, it's not going to happen. Another nuke. The nukes continue. Nick is trying to rotate on the right. Goes back up. Nick Nikich diving in. Planetary is exposed. Things they're going for the tanks. Hey, 2 tanks going to be going down. Not bad. I just say bust in. Now, the reality is that there's no mining here. There's no mining here, so this space isn't really too impactful, but does take down the planetary nonetheless. The Hydras, they do dive forward. If they get one, they get both lives. Not the best trades. At least they take down some of the production buildings and an orbital. There's value. Nikich, he has to back off. He has to rotate. Now he can pop out towards the north. But some ghosts were left over. And the army's diving in. They do have a more even trade here. 2 lurkers for 3 ghosts. Nuke on the main army. Viper's coming in. Does he notice? Does he notice? Does he notice? Does he notice? Oh god. Whew, he yoinked. He abducted the ghost, thankfully. Tank boy's going up. Ooh. A lot of the Vipers go down to the snipes. The snipes are brutal. Nikich trying to force his way in. Replicant, he's running out of SCVs. He's running out of gas. It's getting scrappy. Ultra's on the way. Snipe's going to be coming in. Hydra's are here to punish. And I mentioned before that Replicant, he needs to get this base up and running. It's not mining. The base is not mining. It's not saturated. Abduction on the tank. Nice snipes here on some of these lurkers. Both players are hurting, but again, Nikich, he's remaxing with almost pure Ling. Snipes going up. The final lurker does fall. And Nikich, he's forced back. And finally, Replicant, he can freely start mining. He needs to start mining. He needs to mine ASAP. Ultra's diving in. Tank boy's going up. Nice snipe here on the libs. Last Replicant, he wasn't quite ready for this. Out of the snipes, he should be able to shut down these Ultras. Yeah, there's no support for this. The Ultras, they melt. The Hydras, they melt as well. The Lings, they do nothing. Replicant holds. And back to mining. Back to a semblance of saturation. Another tank goes down. And Replicant, he once had a wall of ghosts. Well, what is he down to? He's down to 4. He had 24, now down to 4 ghosts. That's not enough. The ghost count is too low. Nuke towards the mining base. Does he notice? Does he notice? He doesn't notice! No! Oh my god. The nuke is gonna go up. He does pull away in time. Whew. 5 drones still go down. At the same time, Nick is just catching reinforcements. He goes for a massive counterattack instead. Ultras, they hit the 3rd. Nikich, oh sorry, Replicant forced back home. And Nikich, it looks like he may have just done it again. Nikich, he lost his mining base. He doesn't really have much gas to work with here, but he has bottom right, and he can't remax. Nikich, he's remaxing. Right, diving in. And again, the snipes are good, but the snipes are limited. Speaking of, another ghost goes down. How many ghosts are left? Down to 3. Down to 3 ghosts. 3 ghosts remaining. Reapers in production. Let's go. As Nikich is pushing towards the main, towards the production. Takes down the factories. Rotates over. Nice fungal. Catches the medevacs. Oh, he lunges in. Gets 1. Tanks are unsieged. Yeah, Replicant is falling apart. Yeah, just getting caught with his pants down. And Nikich, he's not done. There's only 1 tank here on the high ground. He can just force his way into the natural. There's not much to stop him. And the Ultras are doing it. They're breaking through. Just barely. Whew. They bust into the natural. They get on top of the tanks. And Nikich has done it. He has done it. It was an intense. Oh my god. It was a grueling. Oh no. Grueling game. As Nikich, he's busting into the main base. Unfortunate timing here to answer a phone call, but things are looking bleak for Replicant. Here he does have a base mining, true, but he's not fully saturated. Oh, okay. We're good to continue. Busting into the main. And Replicant, he will hold on to the main. He does hold. But Nikich doesn't have to go into the main. He can just back off. He can chill from here. Wait for the army to come to him. There's another tank on the high ground. Ultras are going down. But there's still 2 Ultras left. And it's enough. GG gets called. And Nikich will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG. Well played. GG, well played. Nikich does take the first game there, but that was an intense game. Pappy, very intense. That was 30 minutes. Jesus. That was a 30-minute game, Pappy. Oh my god. 30 minutes of almost non-stop action. Again, it was 30 minutes of watching Nikich like ram his face against a brick wall, and eventually he broke it. He broke it down. He has a strong head, strong face. GG. Wasn't the most elegant of games there from Nikich, but a game nonetheless. He did break through. There were some strong moments for Replicant, strong moments for Nikich. Again, so important that Nikich was able to deny the 6th base mining for as long as he did, made sure that he did not get it fully operational. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're getting into game number 2. Catching up in the chat. Ay. Whew. Is it required to build Ultralists on Ultra Love? Ah, we don't see enough Ultras on Ultra Love. True. We don't see enough of them. Hey, it worked. All the ghosts turned into ghosts. R.I.P. Ah, no. Not like this. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. Into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Belarus, leading the series 1-0. We'll see if he can claim the series here and now, or if he's forced into the ace match. It is Nikich. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player from the land of Kazakhstan, representing CSO Esports. Down in the series, but again, he didn't look too bad at all in that last game. He had some strong moments himself, almost had it. We'll see if he can bring us to the ace match. It is Replicant. Here we go. We have our ZvT. We have our second game. And again, Replicant, he was playing it out quite well, playing it very well. There was a moment though, where things took a turn for the worst. That was when Nikich started getting into the main. He started busting into the main base and started pulling Replicant apart. We saw that Replicant was having a very hard time rotating his ghosts between bases, and he was taking losses over time. He was losing workers, losing tanks, losing some production buildings here and there. Replicant, he was just having a hard time. Eventually, he started splitting up his army, but that was after the damage was being done. And more importantly, again, Nikich, he was delaying and denying some of the bases, some of the mining, and Replicant eventually ran out of steam. Eventually. It was close though. It was close. I mean, Nikich himself was also running. There was barely any steam, Pappy. Barely any steam. Both players running on fumes. But for now, settling into game 2. From here we are going hatch gas full, standard opener out of Nikich, likewise likewise Rax expand here by Replicant as well. Standard openers all around. So far so good. We'll be catching up with the rest of the brackets and the rest of the group after this series, as I'm sure a lot to get into. I am sure. As Reaper does poke in, gets across map, dancing with the army, dancing with the lings. Well spoken prod. Now Nikich is able to maintain himself, zoning Replicant away. Third base gets placed. This time it's not too heavily delayed, like the previous game. So much more comfortable start here from Nikich this time. Meanwhile, Replicant's back at home going for a 3rd CC once again. Last game, it was 3 CC before Starport. This time, could see something quite similar. It was 3 CC Banshee, I should emphasize, last game, with Cloak, if you recall. 2 Banshees, Cloak, into Hellion. Reaper pokes in. Behind this, there's Yadolsop. We should soon be seeing a tech lab after this Marine. But my eyes are on Replicant here. As because of that Marine, there is no tech lab, which means there is no add-on swap, which means Fusion Core? No shot. No shot. Tech lab's being built on the starport. Overlord is being shut down. Overlord does get a scout up, does get eyes on the building, on the tech lab. Okay, there it is. I can smell a BC opener. There's a Fusion Core. It is BC's. That's why there was no add-on swap. So the rationale for this, for those that are curious, there's no reason to add-on swap when you're opening up BC because you have to wait for the Fusion Core to make anything. You know, that's why you do not add-on swap if it's a BC. Now, Nikich should be aware because with the Overlord Scout, he saw the tech lab building. He saw it building on the starport. That is a massive tell. That's a massive tell that it's going to be BC. So Nikich, in the back of his mind, this is a big possibility, or at least it should be. Should be a big possibility for Nikich. For now, he's just saturating. He's trying to get a read on what's going on. No big reaction yet out of Nikich. He's opening up Baneliness first. Ooh. Baneliness first is very safe. This means that Nikich is safe against a Hellbat push. If there was a Hellbat push coming, he's safe against it. This means, though, that he delays his lair. His lair is delayed. That means the Spire is delayed. And I'm a little bit more concerned here for Nikich. Oh boy. As it's going to be BC into mech. Yeah, BC into mech. Extra factories are being placed down. Replicant, he's here to embrace and mech it up. Lair now on the way. Spore crawlers as well. We had no follow-up scout from Nikich. So he's working with incomplete information. He's trying to piece it all together. And what's his queen count looking like? 7 soon to be 8. 8 queens, it's not bad. 8 queens is okay. Meanwhile, battle mech, Macfield accelerators. Again, this Baneliness wasn't really necessary for anything here. Just really safe play out of Nikich as he was a little bit afraid. Meanwhile, here comes that first BC into the main. Does teleport across the map. Queens have to respond. Drones are going down. Getting 3 drones so far, going for the queen. And the queen does fall as well. At the same time, Hellions, they dive in towards the third kick on the Banelings though. The surround. Well, he attempts to surround, but the Lings are getting roasted. Nice kiting here from Replicants. Shuts down most of the Lings. BC goes down? Wait. What? The BC falls to the Spore? I mean, the Queens, they were able to finish it off, but yeah, that Spore did a lot of damage here to the BC. And now Replicant's in a rough position. Losing the first battle cruiser, that is unacceptable. That should not have happened. Ay. The BC did fall. Replicant, who was focusing on his Hellion harass. I'm sure he wasn't really paying too much mind to it. Of course, the Spore was recently buffed in the latest patch and does do more damage. And, I mean, as a result, the BC took a lot more hits. Took a lot less hits, I should say, to bring it down. And now I'm not much more concerned here for Replicant. The army is spotted, so Nikich is aware of the mech. Spire is on the way, just in case. Now, we know that it was only 1 BC, right? Yeah, only 1 BC, but Nikich doesn't know that. So he needs to Spire just in case additional BCs arrive to get into Corruptors to shut them down. As we can see, it's full battle mech from Replicant. Here's full battle mech. Behind this, taking extra gases, getting up to 8 gas. That's a lot of gas. 8 gases have been taken here by Nikich on 4 bases. And committing to Lingbane Muta. Bold move. Lingbane Muta is not the most efficient army against battle mech. It's actually a little bit scary, but bold move. Bold move here from Nikich. We'll see if this pays off. Trying to battle against this without roaches, it's difficult. Baileys, they roll in. 13 SCVs go down. Nicely done. Alas, Replicant, he was late to respond, late to react. He's being pulled apart here. Losing the BC, losing the mineral line. The army races back home, and the mutas are upon us. As mutas are massing up. Replicant pushing in. As he moves in, we do have another Ling run by. This time though, there are tanks. So Ling shouldn't get much done. Yeah, they don't get much. They force a bit of friendly fire, but alas, nothing dies. Outside of just the Lings. Queen's getting caught out as well. Nice Vigos here from Replicant. Gets 2 queens. 2 queens go down, but here come the mutas coming in for the surround. Oh, there's no way out of this. We're going to try to kite away. 1 muta does fall. 2 mutas, even 3 mutas. Nice lock-ons here with those Cyclones. Again, Cyclones, they trade quite well here against the mutas. That was how many? That was 6 mutas for 3 Cyclones. That was a better trade for Replicants. And that's also why I'm a little bit on the fence about the choice to commit into Ling Bane Muta against all these Cyclones. Making 3 Cyclones at a time, mate, papi. The Cyclowns, they can do well here against Muta Ling Bane. What we're really missing from the side of Nikich is Infestors. Infestors and Fungal Growths would be ideal to lock down the army to allow for the Ling Bane to get a surround and to get a catch. The alternative would be Vipers for abductions. So Nikich is doubling down on Mass Muta. No Thor production yet. Only Cyclone. Likewise, heavy run by towards the south. It gets into the mineral line. Drones are getting roasted. 9 drones. Not bad. 9 workers go down. Another heli run by towards left-hand side. Army's out of position. More drones. No queen. No queen here to defend. Lings, they pop out just in time to buy time. For the workers. Oh, they're lighting up. Oh my god. 13, 15. 15 drones go down. An entire mineral line. Ay. Not like this. 15 workers falling. Very nice trades here from Replicants. Very nice run-bys. Nikich is re-droning, getting up to 100 drones. Jesus. Getting up to 100 workers. That's arguably too many. We have 7 infestors on the way, so he is aware that he would need those fungals. Is aware. He needs the hell out of here. They pull away. 7 infestors in production. Now again, because the drone count is so high, that means that the army count, or the army supply, is quite low for Nikich. So I'm very concerned about the 100 drones. I'm not too fond of it, I'll be honest. But we'll see. we'll see what happens. We'll see how he's able to trade. Nikich is being active. Does catch a couple of these tanks. Not bad. 2 tanks going down. To those tanks. Likewise, Replicant trying to keep up. I'm still a little bit shocked that he hasn't gotten into any kind of safety Thor production. He's on 13 Cyclones. Likewise, leading towards the south. Hellions are in position. Likewise, ooh, mutas, they rally into the turrets. Oh, that's a lot of mutas going down. That's an expensive loss here for Nikich. Looking at the battle report, that was 6 mutas. Now 7, 8. Oh my god. 8 mutas, 9 mutas, up, 10, oh my god, 11. 11 mutas go down. This was not worth it whatsoever. Expensive losses here for Nikich. And again, Nikich, he has 3k minerals, but he has no gas. Can't afford these losses. Nikich getting into Corruptor. This tells us that most likely into Broodlords. Greater Spires on the way, Ultra Cavern as well. Yeah, these mutas, they weren't really worth it in the end. I mean, sure, they gain map control, I guess. But thankfully, Nikich is done with the mutas. Problem is, it's not necessarily on his terms. Didn't really gain much value with them, and here he is remaxing, again, working towards Broodlords. Scan doesn't quite reveal the Corruptors. Now, if he saw these Corruptors, then that would be the tell for Replicant to move out. Because if he can strike while there's so much dead supply, these Corruptors, they do nothing right now. They do nothing. They attack nothing. Really, Nikich is waiting. He's waiting for the Greater Spire. Greater Spire is almost done, just now finishing, and now we need as many Broodlords as possible. And that window that we spoke about, it's closing. The window of vulnerability here for Nikich, it is closing. He still needs to get rid of more supply to make more Broodlords, or maybe get rid of drones. Just saying. just saying. Aye. Ideally, you would want to make spine crawlers. We saw how heavily those blue flame Hellions, just how much value they got. Ideally, we should see spine crawlers in each mineral line, because the reality is that that's not gonna be the last time we see those Hellions. As the mutas, they get thrown away. So ideally, spines, spores, and all the fringe bases. More Broodlords morphing in. Now, what's terrifying for Replicant, remember, he has not seen the Broodlord transition. He didn't see the Corruptors. He doesn't know about the Broodlords. He has no idea, which is why he has a very heavily ground-focused army. No Vikings. No Vikings and no Thors. Here we go, the Broodlords, they reveal themselves. Hellions, they dive in towards top left. Link Bane is in position. Just saying, there could be some spine crawlers here. Just saying. But Broodlords, they do hit the center base. At the same time, Replicant going for a massive counterattack. The Broodlords, they respond. So do the Infestors. Show us those fungal growths. Trying to catch out the army. Yeah, and there's no way out of this. Replicant, he will lose everything here. The tanks, the Hellions, the Cyclones. There is no way out. Brutal losses behind this. We have Thors Thors to reinforce. Replicant gets 2 bases, 2 expansions. Not bad. Lings, they race back home, and here come the Fungals. Yeah, the Fungals, they lock down the army. And Replicant, he will lose everything. He plummets in supply, and sure, he killed 2 bases. Sure, he killed 24 drones, but Nikich, he wanted to lose those drones. He likes it. He had too many. Now we have Ultras in production, switching to a ground-based composition, considering that most likely, yep, mass BC. Mass BCs are on the way. Ooh, we're gonna need some Corruptors. And Nikich doesn't know, he's maxed. He's maxed out, he's pushing forward. Now, thankfully, I believe Nikich has Neural. Yep, he has Neural, so currently Nikich's best answer to the BCs is gonna be Neural. Is gonna be to Neural. And take over those BCs. Spaces are falling. Nikich, we gotta go. We're on a timer here. Link Bane crashing in. Ooh. BCs are revealed. Thors as well. And Nikich has to remax with Corruptor. And there we go. Corruptors are on the way. And now Nikich is still maxed out, so ideally he wants to trade. He could actually try to engage this with those Neurals. It would be crazy, but it's possible. Last Replicant losing bases. He's down to, what, a 2-base economy? He has the 3rd and the 4th that's operational. The natural, it's running out of steam, so 2.5 base economy here for the Terran. He cannot remax, especially with an expensive mech army. And Nikich is going in for the kill. I'm sure he's happy to lose these Ultras. He can trade. He gets 1 Thor. Not the best trade for Nikich, but it's okay. He's making more Corruptor. Just Corruptor, Broodlord, Infestor. And here he comes. Again, he's looking for those Neurals. And there we go. He does get the Neural. Takes out 2 of those Thors. Goes to the BCs. Wastes the teleports. And GG gets called. And Nikich, he will take the series 2-0. Kicking the night off with a win. GG. GG, well played. An intense best of 3, Papi. Oh my god. GG, well played. Nikich will take his first win here of the night. And we have some catching up to do. Oh my god. We have some catching up to do. GG, well played. Nikich will take it. And we'll be following one of our players here into their next series, into the next round. Here we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. If you guys want to have a look at the group yourselves, let us switch on over and catch up. Here we go. Okay, we have Group A. As you can see here, we have 2 groups, Group A and Group B. These are 6-player round robin groups. They're pretty big. They're pretty big groups, and because it's round robin, what does that mean? That means everyone plays everyone. So a lot of games are going to be played. A lot of matches going to be held here. Today we're casting Group A. Tomorrow we're casting Group B. And then we have the playoff bracket. Again, this is a monthly tournament. It's a pretty big event here for the CIS region. Again, we have players from all around the region here competing here tonight. And we'll see how they compare to each other as we just wrapped up the first round. First round has been wrapped up. Let's refresh and try to catch up with some of these results. And here we go from the top. We have Power. Oh my god, Power 2-0's Art. I'm a little bit in shock, but a big win. Big win here for Power. Power is more of an up-and-coming player, and I would say that Art is more of an old-school veteran, so to see Power bring down Art is very impressive. Shameless takes down Strange 2-0, and of course, Nikich takes down Replicant 2-0 as well. So we do have the first round wrapping up, and we have round 2 already underway. Again, our series was very long series. Strange takes down Art 2-0. Art having a rough start to the day here with some losses in the PvPs. Hopefully he can bounce back. Art is an amazing player. But we have 2 matches upon us here. We have Shameless versus Replicant, and we have Nikich versus Power. We are going to be following Replicant into his match against Shameless. So we just featured Replicant in a TVZ. Now we're going to be featuring him here against a Protoss player instead in a TVP. That is the plan. And that is coming up next. So vetoes are underway. And we will soon jump into our next series here. Again, as much as I'm fond of Nikich, and I do wish him the best against Power, I do want to see Replicant in his TVP, and I do think that Shameless is one of the other heavy favorites to make it out of the group. Like, in my mind, coming into this group, my eyes are on Shameless, my eyes are on Nikich, my eyes are on Replicant and Strange. Power, again, I'm a little bit less familiar with, just because he is less active, but, I mean, hey, he started off with a 2-0 over Art, so Power, he can threaten the hierarchy, so can Art as well. Art, he may have had a rough start, but I'm sure he can bring it back. Oh, regardless, we are going to be going on a very short break here. When we come back, we will have our next series. We will have Shameless versus Replicant. See you soon. See you soon. See you soon.